Oh, hello. Are you here again? Lovely to see you again. My name is Angel and welcome to the space. If you're new, hello, hello. If you've been here before, hello. Welcome back, welcome back. So today I thought I would do, as a continuation of my last few week reorganisation, reassessment, re-evaluation of my practice, I thought I'd speak about the decks that haven't found a place in my practice yet. Now, I got this idea from Sylvie at Tarot Magpie. I'm going to link their channel in the description box and even their video. And I thought, when I saw their video, I was like, I really like that idea. And then when I started doing this reorganisation, and reassessment, I kind of started looking at all my decks and reorganising them. And I just thought, I'd love to do a VR to this because I came across quite a few decks that haven't found their niche yet within my practice. So with that being said, I'm going to start with this one. This is an indie deck. This is the Out of Hand Tarot by Jamie Sawyer. And this is a Kickstarter that I backed. Look at the backs, they are magnificent. Edged in this beautiful, edged in this beautiful yellow. And I got this around the same time as I backed the Tarot of Oneness. And so I think I find them a little bit similar from the viewpoint of the cards. Both the Tarot of Oneness and, this tarot deck kind of look at the images from the first person perspective. And I wonder if maybe that's why this one didn't get a look in, because the Tarot of Oneness kind of solidified its place within my inner child practice. But I really like this. I think it's really cool. I filmed a recent video, decks I can't pick up, and I actually paired this one in that video with Poppy Palin's deck. The Everyday... What's the Poppy Palin deck called? I'm drawing a blank. It's in a yellow box. I'm going to put the name on the screen, but I can't think of it. And I paired those two together. And they actually paired really nicely together. So I'm wondering if by pairing those two, it might well open the door for me to use both of them. I'm totally not against using two tarot decks together. I think it works really well. And if I could find an oracle to go with that pairing, that would be like PG King Jellybean. So I'd have to say, I really, really like this one. And it just, I don't know, I just haven't used it. It's all a bit bizarre because it's got, I mean, look at this. I love the perspective of these cards. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat again. It happens whenever I start filming. I wonder if it's nerves. I'm just so nervous to film. No, I'm teasing. So this is my first one anyway. Let's stop on that one because that's pretty darn cool. Okay, let's move on to the second deck that hasn't found a place in my practice. I think we're going to continue with tarot. So we're on a bit of a theme. This is another Kickstarter. I think this is the first Kickstarter that I backed. The Divine Arts Tarot by Hayley Kim. This is the back of the box in case you'd like to have a read. And this was the first Kickstarter I backed. I've mentioned this in a previous video. I love the backs to these, they're amazing. Hadn't edged mine. I think I probably will. And I backed this one on Kickstarter without really understanding what Kickstarter was about. And I didn't realise that I had pretty much all the time in the world to, well, not all the time in the world, but I had enough time to really think about backing this deck. And because I didn't know much about Kickstarter, I panicked. I was like, I must back the deck. And I just kind of, in a frenzy, hit back it, which I don't regret. But I mainly backed it for one card, and I'm going to see if I can come across that card in a wee second. Let's, in the meantime, show you these ones. I mean, the majors are absolutely amazing. Not such a big fan of the minors. Excuse me. Not there's anything wrong with the minors. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. But when I first got it in, I didn't feel that I got such intuitive hits on the cards. And I'm going to say that I do really appreciate the minor, the court cards. We've got the child, we've got the youth, we've got the matriarchy, which I can't find at the moment, I'm going to find in a wee second, and we've got the patriarchy, which I think is an excellent representation. See if I can find it. Here we go. I believe this is the creator, but don't quote me on that. It looks very much like the creator. Yeah, and the images are absolutely amazing. They're beautiful. Look at this. This is amazing. Some of the cards are renamed. So we've got Focus, for instance, instead of Awakening, I believe. Again, don't quote me on that because I haven't used this deck, but I'm sure that if I remember correctly, that's what it was. This is the card that I loved so much. This is the reason I backed the deck. I backed it for one card, the Hermit card, and it wasn't specifically the Hermit, it was the image, this cloaked figure, that really was resonating for me at the time. So, and actually, to be honest, I actually forgot that I owned this deck, which is terrible to say. And then I was, as mentioned, looking through my shelves recently, and I was like, oh yeah, that deck. And maybe it's time to bring it forward. I mean, look at this. I believe I'm right in saying that Hayley Kim is a tattoo artist, which is kind of, you know, what's the word, reflected in their artwork for the tarot. But it's beautiful, really, really beautiful. And I really like this border going on. And I like it that there are no borders particularly. I mean, obviously, I suppose you could say this is a bit of a border, but compared to the majors, there are no borders going on in the minors. I really like that. But it just hasn't found its space, its place in my collection. I do hope that changes. But you know, some of these things we can't press, can we? We can't push decks forward to be in our practice. They either call to us, they don't. And this one hasn't been calling to me. I'm definitely not thinking of rehoming it. So it's just going to sit, you know, on my tarot shelf, waiting patiently until it decides that it's time. We're moving along to the next deck. So we're moving away from Kickstarter and we're moving to mass market decks. This is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. I've replaced the box for a bag, which I purchased in Crete last year, I believe. Around this time last year. Interesting. Goodness me, time flies when having fun. Excuse me, these are the bags. This was the first deck that I actually chopped the borders off. They had white borders all the way around, which I didn't like. And I used scissors. So when I got my Super Duper Guillotine, I went back to this deck and tidied it up. And I still haven't, because I haven't been using the deck, I still haven't re-edged it, which still needs to be done. I don't like the backs. I think this is one of the only decks I've got that I don't like the backs. I don't tend to, you know, really care about the backs generally. But with this deck, I'm like, oh no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I got this one quite early on, used it just a wee bit, didn't particularly feel very drawn to it, put it away, and I haven't used it since. And I mentioned in a recent video actually that I rehomed some decks to a colleague, and this deck was on the top of the bag of decks I was going to rehome. And I was just about to walk away from the bag before giving it to my colleague. I had it at work and I put it in there in the personnel room. And I went to walk away and I was thinking, I don't know if I want to give this one away. And so I quickly grabbed the box set back and brought it back into my collection again, which I'm quite happy I did. There was obviously a reason. I was obviously feeling, you know, that this at some point in time is going to find its place in my practice. And I think the image is really cool. I love the sword suit in this deck. Let me see if I can find a sword. And I love the devil. Look at this. I mean, gorgeous. I've mentioned before I'm not a big fan of the guidebook. Excuse me. I mean, that goodness me, that frog in my throat. I love this. I love the shadowy aspect of the sword suit. Like, I feel like I could totally put myself in that position. And I even, actually, not this is a sword, this is Ten of Pentacles. But this always speaks to me of my ancestors when I get this card. And I love the shadowy aspect of that as well. And this is beautiful, although it's a cup card, but I do like it. I really like it. I mean, I really, really like it. And I really like this too. And this I love. And this I love. So there are a lot of cards I really enjoy. I think I just need to, you know, get it out and start using it. And I need to find a pairing for it, because I think that would open the door to using it. What do we think would pair with nicely with this one? Yeah, no, I'm drawing a total blank. But I think if I found a super duper pairing to go with it, I think it might well open the door. Open the door for me. Okay, let's take another look. Let's take a look at another tarot deck, and yeah, let's have a chat about that one. The next one that hasn't found a place in my collection yet is the Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. This was a Kickstarter, I feel, and then it came out mass market. Hoorah! Look at these amazing, amazing backs. I would love to pair mine. No, I'd love to edge mine in maybe gold, or possibly this lilac colour, which I'm having a total love affair with at the moment. That's another story. Let's pop these down, and I'm sure you've seen this deck, but I mean, look, it's got these beautiful, really cool, helpful keywords within the artwork, which doesn't, it's not, you know, it's not obtrusive. You know, you could totally, you know, ignore the keywords if you wanted to. So for that reason, I think this is actually a really great beginner deck. I don't tend to be a big fan of keywords on my decks. I do have the Field Tarot, which obviously has keywords. But apart from that, I can't think of any other decks I have, tarot-wise, that have keywords on them. And as mentioned, that would have been really helpful as a beginner. Excuse me, but now that I've got a bit further on my tarot journey, I feel that they kind of, if they're not hidden in the artwork, they kind of draw my attention straight away, and my intuition like closes off, because I'm too focused on what the keyword is on the card. So for that reason, I quite prefer my cards without keywords. But I mean, this artwork is absolutely stunning. I love, love, love the colours. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at this. It's just, is it, I mean, look at this. It's just, is it not just? It's just. But I've never used it. And it could, I mean, you know, I do have a lot of decks. I recently did the tag, what's that tag called? Blindly rating 10 decks. It was a VR to Sylvia at Fairlight Tarot. And I saw that Candy and Chanel both had done VRs to that video, or that hashtag, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. Anyway, so I went through and I looked at my decks, and I hadn't counted my decks, and I got up to 300 decks. Yes, I know, I almost had a heart attack. And I kind of stopped counting, because I was like, oh my God, Bennett, and I still had about 50 decks to go, so I just stopped counting at 300. So I do have a lot of decks, and I don't read for anybody else. And I'm not ashamed, because I love my decks in my collection. So I'm not going to, you know, feel bad about having so many decks. If you can hear that squawking or squeaking, can you hear that? They're my slippers. So yeah, I really want to find a way in for this deck in my practice. And speaking of Candy Son and Soul, they use this deck for their Wizard of Oz like study that they did at the beginning of the year. I think it was the beginning of this year, just gone, or maybe last year, I can't remember. Excuse me. And I really want to do a Wizard of Oz month. I've pre-ordered the Wizard of Oz Tarot, because it's one of my favourite films, and I'm kind of thinking about using that deck along with the books to, you know, create some spreads and, you know, do a whole month with the Wizard of Oz on the yellow brick road, as it were. That'd be really cool, I think. And I'm wondering if maybe this deck could kind of, you know, come in for that practice. I don't know. Anyway, I just need to open the door to it, because it's beautiful and it's going nowhere. You know, I'm not thinking of rehoming any of these decks. They are safe in my collection. They just need to find their I need to find the key to them to open the door to them. Okay, so that was the Wandering Star Tarot. Should we take a look at another tarot deck? I think we should. And we're going to be speaking about this beauty. This is the Real Talk Tarot. This is another mass market deck. I like how this box opens, can I just say, FYI. I know it's a bit of irrelevant, but I do quite like that. These backs are beautiful. Haven't edged it. Would love to edge it in this like pink or possibly the green because I think it's quite cool. This is a very modern deck, and it's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pared back, what's the word I'm looking for? Not simple, but I feel this is a bit of a palette cleanser. Because, you know, the colours are quite, they're pastel colours, which makes me feel quite calm. The artwork is quite, I'm going to say clean, that's a great word. The artwork is very clean. So I feel this is a great palette cleanser. And I do have certain decks in my collection that are palette cleansers. For instance, Valoria's Tarot is a palette cleanser for me. I would say even the Transient Light Tarot is another one. Because it's, you know, it's got this reserved colour palette. So I'm wondering whether I should maybe pop this one with those two decks so that when I need that palette cleanser, I need that kind of time to kind of land between intensive readings or decks that have kind of been quite an assault on the senses, I'm going to say, in a great way. Maybe that's what this deck could do for me. I really like the depictions. I can't remember what the guidebook's like. Let me have a quick look at the guidebook. Let's look at the Knight of Pentacles. It does have coloured pictures. Here we go. Let's have a look at the Pentacle suit and let's look at the Knight just to get a bit of an idea. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles says, betting on the right pony. Financial growth and good investment in property progress. Come on now, Angel, get your brain and your teeth into your head. Strategize, thank you, and set realistic goals to succeed. Pay attention to the practical details of future benefits. Get through boring but essential tasks. In work, more money may be coming to you by raise, bonus or promotion, but requires hard work in return. An additional meaning is finding a secure home, potentially with a partner. Not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that. But, you know, I don't need to read the guidebook. I'm still thinking it might be, you know, its way into my practice might well be as a palette cleanser. I'm going to pop it on this the shelf with my palette cleansers. I think I've mentioned before, I tend to have my decks organised by theme, not by season. I don't work seasonally with decks, and therefore I kind of have like all my like all my witchy decks together and all my animal decks together, whether they're tarot or oracle, and then I have like all my fantasy decks together, for instance, and I have all my palette cleansers together, and I have the decks that bring out my inner child or inner teenager together on the shelf, so that when I'm just, you know, I'm feeling in a certain mood, I can just go to my shelves and just think, what do I fancy today? Yeah, I fancy a fantasy deck, and I can pick an oracle and a tarot from that selection on my shelf, instead of thinking I need to go to that shelf to find my tarot, I need to go to that shelf to find my oracle decks. So I kind of like to you know, to have them together within themes. Wow, what an explanation. Let's move on to the next deck. So the next one is the Guardian Tarot by Beth Selinon. I do also have I think it's called the Draken deck, which also hasn't seen the light of day as yet in my practice. That one has dragons and crows in it. I think this is beautiful. I think I tried to use it when I first received it. Excuse me. And I know I've heard a lot of people on TarotTube say that they find these figures quite creepy with the eyes. But I don't. I think it's, you know, I think they're misunderstood characters. I really do. And I tried to use this one, or maybe I thought that the potential was there to use this when I was using decks to connect with tree energy. That ended up being my Wild Unknown Tarot deck, and I think it was the Facets of Self Oracle. I've got both of those oracles and I never remember which one's which. Anyway, those kind of, you know, concreted themselves within that practice, and this one didn't really get a look in. It's not being rehomed, but it just needs to find its niche. Tell me your niche. Tell me your niche. Next tarot. Oh no, I'm lying to you, but we're onto the oracle decks. And this oracle is the Modern Nirvana Oracle. Awaken your intuition and deepen your awareness. So I had this one for quite a while. Beautiful backs. Want to edge it in all the colours. And I love the art style. Excuse me. And I know because I've tried it previously, I've stumbled upon a fantastic pairing in a different video. Can't remember what the video was, it was a while ago. This paired beautifully with the Power Moon Tarot, which I have, which is a deck that doesn't want to speak to me, or hasn't wanted to speak to me. And of course it has started speaking to me now, but I've been so immersed, I'm going to say, with my facets of self-work that my cosmic decks haven't really gotten a look in. And the Power Moon Tarot for me is a very cosmic, you know, it's a very airy cosmic deck. But I know those two pair well together. So my plan is at some point to get those out onto my desk and to, you know, work a month with them together. But of course, you know, as mentioned, this facet of self-work has kind of taken me on a really, really lovely journey, which I don't regret, and I don't resent. So yeah, I totally think this is going to get its time. Do you have this deck? Let me know what you pair it with. I'd love to know. And what was the other deck I was thinking about might pair quite nicely with it? The Intuitive Heart Tarot? Possibly not. That might be an interesting pairing. I do like it when an oracle deck pairs with several different decks, don't you? I'm sure you do. Yeah, so this one, I'm quite certain this is sometime or another going to find its niche in my practice. It's just a matter of having the time to use it, basically. Yeah, we've got a couple more oracles left. Let's move on to those ones. So, Sacred Earth Oracle. This is a Candy made me do it. Well, she didn't make me do it. She didn't put my arm behind my back and tell me to buy it. But I saw this one on her channel and it was beautiful. Candy was pairing it with the Mary L Tarot, if I don't remember it incorrectly. I'm sure I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, I saw the card, I didn't see the box. And once I ordered it and I got it home, look, I saw the bison on the deck, and it felt like it was meant to be. The bison is my animal ally, so it just felt like it was meant to be. It really did. These are the backs. I pulled one or two cards when I first received this deck, and I was a bit like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I just kind of put it away because it felt like it wasn't the right time to be worked with. This is beautiful. I love it. Actually, I love the artwork generally. And I'm wondering maybe if this would pair with another deck I'm going to show you in a wee second, and the Gentle Tarot. But I could be totally wrong. I might even do a playing with pairs in a wee second. So this is absolutely stunning artwork. This is gorgeous. I love this. And I really love this card that was on the front with the bison. I mean, that just feels like a sign. It's a sign. I say that quite often in my videos. You know, I'm slightly teasing myself when I say that. It's a sign. And I love this. It's just beautiful. I think, and look at this. This is gorgeous as well. So look at this. So the artwork is absolutely stunning in this deck. I'm thinking about bringing in the other deck that I was just talking about. Let's just grab the other deck. Let's pop this to the side for 1 second, and let's grab that other one, which is this one, Wisdom of the Elders. This was a deck from my stockpile, my 2024 Scratch the Itch for the Milo Low Buy year, which I've kind of been trying to get back in the saddle of, because I kind of let the rein slip a couple of months ago. These are the backs, which I think are absolutely stunning. And these are the cards. Let's do this. Now, this kind of thing put me off. I don't like smudge, because that for me is just like it's inappropriate, I feel. Well, not inappropriate, but it's like it's a close practice, isn't it? Smudging with sage. I just think, you know, why could they not have? Why could the keyword not have been like smoke cleansing, or, you know, just something else? And this is a bit like, I don't know. I should have done more research into this before I purchased it. And when I opened it, I was like, this is the only deck I think I've opened, and I've just been like, nope, it's going straight on my shelf. But I'm thinking that this might pair really beautifully with the Gentle Tarot, and possibly this one. Should we have a bit of a look? Shall we? Dare I? Oh yeah, I do. I dare. She who dares wins. So I'm promising nothing. I'm not saying that these are definitely going to go together, but I just kind of get that, you know, excuse me, that, you know, that bit of an inspired thought that it might possibly go together. Goodness me, that frog in my throat is a pain in the bottom. Okay, so we've got disconcertment, water, root of thunder, which is the sword suit. I mean, this is quite interesting. Humility, productivity with the Fool. I love this. I think the artwork in this deck is absolutely stunning. Let's just do that, sorry, so you can see. That was quite a dark card. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Loving the wolf energy. Look, a bison. I love it. I do love the bison. It feels like a sign. The last few videos that I've filmed, I've been seeing quite a lot of bisons in my decks, which I don't tend to reflect over generally. And the bison synchronicity has, you know, gone quiet for quite a few months. And in the last couple of videos, I've gotten quite a few, you know, nudges from my animal allies. So it might well be time to bring out those decks and have a bit of a reading to see if there's some messages coming through. Okay, so we've got core, respect, and the Seven of Stones, which is the pentacle suit, obviously. I love this. This is beautiful. I love this, that this, you know, it's kind of the same, feels like the same position. And it's looking upwards. So we've got efficiency, spring with new beginnings, and the Three of Thunder. I wonder if this might be the way in, you know, to these two decks. So we've got rediscovery, summer activation, and the Magician. I mean, activation and the Magician, love it. And look at this beautiful little figure standing here with this crescent moon. Ooh. So we've got context, wisdom, and the beaver. I love the birch energy in this one, with the Five of Stones. Okay, we're going to take one more because it's going to be suddenly a long video, but I think there's definite potential here. I'm wondering if this is the way in. Those teeth and my brain, they're not in gear and they're not in, you know, coordination together. This word, love, eagle, and the Wheel of Fortune. I like this. Oh, okay, last one. I think this is the way in. I really do. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Pipe ceremony with prayer, time, and the Two of Thunder, which is the sword suit. A lot of swords coming up recently in this deck. Interesting. So there we have it. Those are the decks that haven't found a place in my practice. But, you know, watch this space, because some of these decks might well be coming into use before the end of 2024. Oh, I'm intrigued. So what say you? Do you have any decks in your practice that haven't found their niche yet? You know, do you have those decks that sit in your shelf which you really want to use, but you're just not feeling drawn to? I would love to know. Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to thank you so much for spending time with me again. As usual, I do appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo.